Hey friends, it's Mike. I'm so glad you're here because we're going to talk about a really, really important topic today when it comes to conversations. And that's, what do we say to hurting people? Some of you right now probably can think of someone in your life who's struggling, is facing some challenges, maybe at work, with a relationship, maybe in their marriage, maybe with their kids. And we have these questions that need good answers. What do I say to my sister who just miscarried a baby? My friend just texted me that her husband is leaving her. What do I say to her, right? Or maybe you're asking this question, what advice should I give to my friend who is struggling with an eating disorder? Or questions like, should I send a card, flowers, or cookies? How do I help when tragedy strikes? Those are all really good questions. And I think we have to start by talking about some mistakes that we make when we're trying to help hurting people. And two big mistakes that we make is that we tend to overcomplexify and oversimplify the problems. Both do a big disservice to hurting people. Overcomplexifying is we just make things way too complicated for them instead of just making it honest and real and authentic and pure. Or sometimes we oversimplify and we just kind of take their problems and we dismiss them. We don't think they're that important, or like we ask people to get over it, right? A lot of us use a technique that I call tomorrowing. And tomorrowing is really where you show up in somebody's life and they're hurting or struggling, and you want to be this cheerleader, you want to be this motivator and encourager. And so it's all about tomorrow. It's all about setting the stage for hope and what's to come. And I get it. I know that feels good for us, but it doesn't necessarily help the other person who's actually hurting. And so let me do a little drawing here. Let's assume we have this circle, and let's just call this circle the grief circle. And your friend, maybe a loved one, maybe a coworker, is in this grief circle right now. And a lot of times when we get into tomorrowing, what we want to do is we want to drag them out of the grief circle into, I don't know, happy them, joyful them. We want them to be more excited about life, but they're in this grief circle. And so often we make the mistake of not letting them experience their grief. We have to ask ourselves, are you dragging your friends out of this grief circle for your comfort, not theirs? Maybe you're uncomfortable sitting here with them, just in their sadness, in their discouragement, in their honesty and authenticity with their real feelings and emotions. Sit with them in the circle. That's some of the best advice I can give you. Don't tomorrow it. Don't try to drag them out. Don't try to make things all good. Don't try to use silver linings to fix their problems. Also, I want to talk about real quickly some things not to say. Like let's just remove these words from our conversations with hurting people. So number one, don't say at least. We use that word a lot sometimes. Well, at least, someone has lost a child. Well, at least you have two others. I mean, what a horrible thing to say, right? If someone has just experienced loss or is dealing with a tragedy, the last thing you want to say is the phrase, at least you still have. It's important that we never minimize anybody's problems. And when we use the word at least, that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, number two, don't ever say, why did you? This statement honestly just puts blame and responsibility and additional shame on hurting people. For example, if your friend has just told you, I don't know, that her teenage daughter got caught with drugs, don't respond with, well, why did you let her go to that party? Not helpful words, okay? If your friend car, it gets stolen, and don't say, why did you leave the door unlocked? If someone's spouse has an affair with a coworker, don't say like, why did you let him or her spend so much time at the office? These are unhelpful statements, helpful words that we need to remove from our vocabulary. Listen, our natural tendency is to be curious about the details. I get it. We want to know or explore and kind of know the nitty-gritty details of that. But But asking why questions in the middle of someone's suffering isn't helpful. And then finally, this is an important one. Avoid saying, don't cry. I know a lot of us are, when we see emotion and people start crying or are upset and the tears start to flow, we get confused, we get anxious, and we get kind of stressed. I get it. But tears are natural physiological release of psychological symptoms. So in this case, if someone starts crying, the best thing to do is nothing. Simply remain silent. Let the body do what it needs to do. Be a good listener in this moment. So we know 3 things that we shouldn't say. Let me give you probably the 4 most important words you could ever say to somebody that's hurting. I use this all the time, whether it's in a text message, whether it's in conversations, face to face, whether it's on the phone. I use these 4 words all the time, and they're powerful words to say to people who are hurting. And it's simply this: I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're hurting. I'm so sorry that you're experiencing this. I'm so sorry this is painful. I'm with you, right? And that's sometimes all the words that we need to say. Sometimes saying it stronger means saying nothing at all or saying very little. When it comes to hurting people, it's not always our words that make it better, but the strength that comes from just being present. Hey guys, I hope this has been helpful. All of us face these issues, right? We all have friends who are struggling. Take a moment, share this video with somebody, and I'll see you next time.